Hello and welcome to another episode. Now, surfing is about to make its second ever appearance at this year's Olympics. While Hossegor in southwest France might be the obvious choice for a surfing contest in the country, Olympic surfing will be taking place at Chopu in Tahiti, almost 16,000 kilometers away from Paris. This was both in an effort to provide a fair competition platform for surfers and to involve France's overseas territories in the Olympics. Now, specifically, Chopu has been chosen as the venue to host the Olympics, which is a really interesting choice because it's one of the scariest, heaviest waves on the planet, and there's going to be a lot of surfers who haven't spent a whole heap of time out there versus a select few that are really good out there. So it's going to be a really interesting venue. It's nicknamed the Wall of Skulls and it's a death-defying wave. However, hosting the event at Chopu wasn't without controversy, with plans to build a larger judging tower on the reef in the lagoon directly in front of Chopu was met with deep concern from locals and the wider surfing community. Nevertheless, the building of the platform went ahead and the Olympics is due to start in a few days. So let's take a look at how Olympic surfing will actually work. First of all, how do surfers qualify? Now, with 3 days to go into the Olympics, all the surfers taking part are obviously locked in, but how they got there might seem a little bit complicated. But this is the most straightforward way of explaining how it works. In 2023, the top 10 men and top 8 women from the Championship Tour, 4 men and 4 women from the ISA World Surfing Games that took place in El Salvador last year, 1 man and 1 woman from the Pan American Games in 2023, then in 2024, 5 men and 7 women from the World Surfing Games will also take place. This took place a few months back in Puerto Rico. Then in 2022 World Surfing Games, 1 man and 1 woman, an additional 2 competitors from the host country, and a further 2 competitors to fill up the university quota. So that kind of breaks down all the competitors that will be taking part in the Olympics. They're from all over the world, including many top surfing names, Medina, Leo, Kanoa, all these big names, as well as some lesser known names as well, which will be really interesting to see because a lot of these girls and guys surfing we haven't actually got to see yet on such a big platform. So this list here is exactly who's qualified and who will be competing in a few days. So in terms of the format, competition format will run very similar to what we see in the WSL Championship Tour events. Round 1 will consist of 8 heats on both the men's and women's side, with 3 surfers in each heat. The top places in each heat will advance through to round 3, whereas surfers who finish last in each heat will go into round 2. Round 2 will consist of head-to-head matchups, and the loser will be eliminated and the winner will join round 3. Round 3, or the round of 16, as you'll know if you watch the WSL events, will consist of 8 head-to-head heats. The losers will get knocked out, the winners will progress through to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals will have 4 heats, again head-to-head. 2 winners will move on to the semi-finals, and then the 2 winners of that will move on to a head-to-head final. First place will win the gold medal, second place will get silver. The 2 losers from the semi-finals will compete in a head-to-head matchup to decide the bronze medal. So what's the criteria? Now, if you watch the WSL events, the criteria will be very similar. Surfers are generally judged on their maneuvers, speed, power, flow, big maneuvers on critical sections. Because Chopu is traditionally a barrel riding event, it's going to be judged more on tube riding, although this depends entirely on the forecast, which leads me on to my next point. Now, I don't know much about Chopu myself, but from what I've read online, the forecast doesn't look like there's anything huge coming through on the forecast. The first few days look small, gonna have sort of head-high surf on the first weekend with good winds, so there's a good chance that the contest will run. Obviously, the further out we go, the harder it is to predict and the less reliable the forecast becomes. But it does look like on the long range there's a little bit more of a bump, so we might see bigger surf later on in the contest, which would be really interesting. And I mean, Chopu, you know, when it's not barreling, it can be a pretty boring event where people are just doing backside snaps. You know, that's not really what we want to see. And you know, surfing as a sport, we kind of want to show it to everyone as this amazing thing. Like, how good would it be if the waves got like they did in the CT event a few months ago? But whatever the waves, I can't wait to watch it. I'll definitely be watching all the action go down. So yeah, I hope that explains how the Olympics is going to work nice and clearly. Obviously it's a little bit confusing. I didn't know exactly how it was going to work until I researched for this video, to be honest. Hope you've enjoyed this breakdown. Please like and subscribe if you have. For now, it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you in the next episode.